So let's see how Wariofan approaches it. What does he think? What goes through Wariofan's head?
Okay,
When he tries to do the Snakebird level.
my first thought is multi-birds, the maximum 3 birds and a fruit, so I immediately panic. Because this is like above and beyond of what I wanted to do. I thought this was going to be a cute little game about, snakes eating fruit, but no. So, let's see. My typical pattern was, okay, how do I get the fruit in the first place? And the pattern I always ended up was this was this here, where I have a little red bridge, a little green bridge, and blue guy gets the fruit. He's ready to go. All right, he's in. But yeah, I'd hope so. But now we got to rescue these 2 goofballs, and well, they're both in positions where you can't exactly rescue them from. So yeah, it's at this point you realize a plan B is going to have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized what the plan B was, that's when I was freaking out, because I was like, oh man, I can't believe I understood that. So the trick is then, because it's so easy to get red bird and green bird like this, it's to reverse it, to make sure that they're facing the other way when the fruit is acquired. And it was easy enough for me to figure out how to do that with the second bridge, because I could just do this little what do you call it? Balance. Oops.
Headbutt.
Yeah, headbutt. So now when I have blue get the fruit, all right, he's good to go, which is great. All right, and then green, he's good to go now too. But red, well, he's still stuck. So that's when you got to figure out, okay, I'm onto something. So how do I get red all turned around correctly? And that took a while, and let's see if I can replicate it, because as soon as I figured out how to do it, I was like, oh man, there's no way I'm never going to be able to do this again. So it was very death-defying headbutt like you saw before, but if I recall, I was like, green and red were basically almost killing each other just to get it going, because we only got one tiny piece of land to go on here. That's not enough. So I got to remember how I got myself into that position where I could afford to do that. I don't think this is it. Oops. Oh no.
This is in Richard's Snakebird videos. He called this a snake machine, where the main emphasis of the gameplay is getting birds to push each other, and then having them push each other in really complicated formations.
Mm-hmm. I think there's actually a level before this one where you do a variation of that, and this one is a more complicated setup of that level prior.
This one is pretty insane.
So if you don't remember that technique from that level, then yeah, this will definitely stump you. So right now, Wariofan, his strategy is to try to get the green bird to push the red bird, so that his head is facing, the other way. Oh no, poor baby, stuck.
Man, how did I do that? It's so frustrating, because I felt like a genius once I figured it out, but Now I can't remember.
Well,
I think maybe. I think what happened is maybe I used the blue as like a wedge at some point. Let's see. I feel like blue had to help me out with something while I did this, and I can't remember what it was.
so your conclusion is that there's no way for green to push red into the position you need on its own.
I think I could be misremembering, but I feel like I needed blue's help to make sure green could push red successfully.
Sorry to interrupt, Adrian.
It's all right. I was gonna sort of backseat game Wariofan and say try to instead of trying to remember what it was that you did before, just try to think through it again.
Okay.
I also think that this is something else that can happen in Snakebird, is where when you're sort of like near a breakthrough like this, where Wariofan's at, you can accidentally stumble upon the answer and then, not remember or have fully committed into your memory the technique that it was. I know
because the game is so complicated, you can just experiment and screw around and eventually hit upon the appropriate permutation.
Yeah, so we can get pretty good at narrowing the possibilities, or until a point where Snakebird's level can have us, accidentally fall into the one move out of the 4 that was available to us and where we were getting stuck, and then, we don't actually fully get what it was that we needed to do.
There's also a low-level similarity between the levels there that makes it a bit more difficult to commit to memory, just because it's easy to say, or it's easy to mistake one solution for another, or to say, like Wariofan saying, I think I need to use blue here, and accidentally be thinking of a different stage that you played right before it or after or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not much. I mean, there's a platform, there's 3 snakes, and there's a fruit. There's not much that's distinctive here.
So that's definitely the position I need red to be, but it's not. He's too inward, so I can't successfully make my bridge when he's like that.
So if blue did something, what could he do? What do you know already that blue can do?
Not much, because he's only practically the smallest Snakebird he can be.
Yeah, but
he is the smallest Snakebird he can be.
But you've done things with him already. Yeah,
he can. He's fine with playing headbutt with Green Snake, as long as he's safe on the side here, because blue doesn't really have that kind of leverage like green and red do here. So now I seem to have created a bridge out of green just by demonstrating that. But
so blue can push green's head.
Yeah, that's his use. He can at least help green out to be in the position I want green to be in when it comes down to it. Can't quite remember what it was that made red go in that position. I think what I also did is I toyed with an idea. Did I try toying with it? I think I did try to toy with it, but I can't remember if it failed, where I carefully got green and red to switch positions. I think in the end, it had to be red as the first part of the bridge and green as the second.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, red is 5 long and green is 6. They're different lengths.
Right. That was my thinking, because green is the longest. Maybe he should be the bottom part of the bridge. And see, this is exactly the setup I need but I just need red to be, if I could push red in further, then this would be...
Do you mind if I make a suggestion, Wariofan?
Please.
Maybe you should worry about getting red where you want him to without worrying about what position green is in.
Oh, okay. So just try and focus on making red correct first before doing anything.
Right.
That's not going to work. Oh, and I remember feeling like Albert Einstein once I figured out how to do it.
So, Wariofan,
Yeah.
to push red, the top of green will need to be lower, or will need to be longer than the bottom of green, right?
Yeah, right.
So, what's your plan for getting green's head to safety?
I don't know. How did I do that before?
Right. So this is one where there's a trick or a technique, and if you don't pick up on it, you get stuck like this.
Yeah, there's one particular rule here that's not immediately clear.
Yeah, and it's not immediately a thing you would ever think to do. You sort of have to stumble upon it, or not stumble upon it, but it is something you...
It's weird because it's in the rules naturally.
It's like
it makes sense. It lines up with everything else in the game, but it's just not something you would think of.
Yeah, it's one of the more... Actually, I do think this is the only level this happens in, but it's one of the more uncommon properties.
Well, one of the interesting things about this level is that it's so pure snake on snake action. Right? There's nothing else in the level. So the way that the snakes interact with each other is especially pronounced in this solution.
So before...
It's fine. Because once you find this one trick, the rest of the level comes together. So I think one thing that's tripping Wariofan up is that he knows he needs to get red to move over. And right now he's mostly moving green around, but blue not as much. So if I was to say where's the gap in his plan of action, is that he doesn't quite know what to do with blue.
It's true. He's so short.
It seems like you know everything that you can do with green.
Yeah, so my hint to you would be...
Blue is necessary to get red where I want it, isn't it?
In a way, yes.
I'm trying to remember how it was. Because it obviously can't be the usual way, because he's just too short to do that.
It's also really... I take a lot of pity on the two birds, because whenever they switch direction, they flop around. It's just a sad animation.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I I think they had like sassier faces though, the shorter ones.
Well, that's because they want to be bigger.
The Napoleon complex.
Yeah.
So this is Wariofan's strategy of when he said he needed them to fight each other.
Yeah. Man, the way I remember it, it was like you were very scared that either of them was going to fall in at one point. But
I actually think you have an alternative solution here that I haven't thought of.
That's what I'm thinking too. Wariofan just found an alternative solution to this.
It might. Well, I'm not certain though because you do have those blocks up top. You might not be able to.
yeah,
get to it.
I don't. I think you're giving me too much credit here.
No, yeah, I think that.
I mean, you guys have beaten cloud levels, so.
I haven't.
Well, you've looked at them.
Wait, what? I thought you beat the game.
No, I've only beaten the non-star levels.
Oh.
Why am I doing that? Why am I doing that with blue?
Well, it helps to make green odd. When green is doubled over himself, he's even and it's easier to fall off.
You know, it's fine if you want to outright, give me the tips. I don't want to take up all the time in the world,
Okay, so a little bit is again that it has to do with blue. That you're not quite. Basically, you tried one approach with blue. Now try another one where blue is pertinent to the solution, to the technique.
Solution of making red stretch out.
Yes.
Can I tell Wariofan the property?
Oh my god. Every now and then he keeps getting green in like the right shape and then moves out of it.
I really want to tell him. Can I tell him?
Please go ahead.
So a snakebird can push one snakebird, right?
Right.
A snakebird can also push as many snakebirds as there are.
That's a nice riddly way of putting it. Let's see.
Right, you see red's pushing two snakebirds?
Right.
Can you do that horizontally?
Blue can do that too.
Can I do that what?
Can you do that horizontally?
Blue?
Horizontally?
Yes.
How would I do that horizontally?
So two snakebirds are pushed when they're both in contact, right? With the one that's pushing them? How do you do that going sideways?
Gosh, I can't think of how to do that unless they're on the same plane.
So if there's...
But that's like...
I kind of like this because I'm almost finding a new way to make myself understand this. So you want to push two horizontally, right? That was just one. It was green pushing red, but blue wasn't moving at all.
Right.
So when they move vertically, when you push two vertically, it's because the two being pushed are in contact with each other, right?
Green is hugging blue. It's so sweet.
It is. Am I on a breakthrough? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, blue looks like he thinks it's sweet too. What you just did there, what you're doing there is very close to what you need to do. That's the right idea.
No, I know. I'm so close.
You are pushing two horizontally. You're
Yeah.
just using the wrong ones to do it.
So how do you get blue to push green while also pushing red?
Well, this I suppose, but that ends
It seems like it seems like you want all the heads to be in the same place.
You mean like that, right?
Yeah. But you can't, if green was fully stretched up, blue could push green by the end of his tail. Like, yeah, blue could push him off into the water now. You don't need the heads lined up like that.
Wait. Well, this seemed like a bright idea.
So right now, the major thing of this puzzle is how deeply, for lack of a better word, you can think about the property.
Now, how can you get blue to push green?
Well, you can do it like that, but it's not helping me with red at all.
Yeah, you want him to go right.
So if you move green right one more, where you were before.
But yeah,
Okay,
but
so this
blue
is
would
where
be
you
able
were.
to do...
Okay, no, you can't do anything right now, but if you, from this state, you can do what you need to do with just one move. Or, I mean, two, but...
Yeah, there's one major move you need to make with green in that position, and you'll have the whole thing solved, and then blue can do his thing.
Oh man, what am I missing? How can blue do it like this? You can't push both of them though.
So evaluate your moves with green. There's only two ways he can go. He can't go left because that's where he's been, and he can't go down because that's where red is. He only has two moves.
Actually, he can go down, just it would be pointless.
All right, there. Green can't go down.
Oh, no, you're right, never mind.
So, Wariofan,
Yes.
take a move with green. Just one tile move.
A one-tile move with green.
Yes, one tile. Okay. You did the... Okay, go back a step. Okay, now do it again. No, do it again. Now, okay, now solve the puzzle.
Solve the puzzle.
Do moves. Just do moves.
Alright, fan. Move blue right.
Blue is the only thing.
Oh, man. There it is.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Yep.
Blue was important to red.
So
Oh,
that is the
man.
major property this entire puzzle is based on. You want to push red to the right, but you actually do it by having blue pushing green pushing red.
Now just imagine how more impressive that would be if I was the one, Sherlock Holmes in this instead of going, wait, I promised I beat this level, guys. I can do this.
No.
Yeah. And then from there, it's the usual
it's
deal.
basically
Headbutt wars.
Yeah. And so one of the reasons why that may come intuitive is because blue is pushing red to the right when he's already past him. So that's one of the more, like say, unintuitive aspects of it.
That blue is to the right and red is to his left, and somehow
He is pushing
blue
him
is
right.
pushing red rightward.
Right, and that's because the way green is extended. Because if green moves right and his bottom piece is to the left of red, that therefore causes red to move right.